Hi everyone, welcome back to Keploy's community call, and I'm very excited to host this month's community call because we have some exciting updates on what's new with Keploy as well as some new integrations that we are really excited to show. So, without further ado, today with me I have Sarthak and Pranshu, who alongside will tell you what's new with Kepler and how you can get started very easily with bare minimum clicks with the most exclusive experience. So, I'll go first. We have something exciting that I wanted to show every one of you. So let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Yep, it is.
Yep.
Awesome. So we are finally live on Arcade. So now, if you are a frequent user of Arcade, it's a marketplace for CLI tools or developer tools. So you don't have to go and install like one clicks or maybe do some Docker commands to run the Keploy. You can just do. So I'll first show if I have a Keploy, which Keploy. So you can see Keploy not found. Now I have Arcade with me. So it's an open source marketplace for developer tools. Now what I'll do arcade get Keploy, and it will automatically detect what architecture I have, what OS I am using, and it will choose the binary accordingly with the latest version and install it locally on my machine. So by default, it creates in a .arcade bin. If you want to install it globally, just move it to your local bin. That's what I'll do. So, and if now I'll see, I'll do which Kepler and I got it. So let's have a demonstration on how, if whether it's actually working and not, or if there's any difference, like in the developer experience when you're using it. So this is my sample application called Express Mongo. You can find it on our quick start guide. Bring my database up, or let's do with Docker Compose. So this is my container name in which it will be running code Mongo app, Docker Compose up, and I have created. I'm a very big fan of shell commands, right? So here it is. I have listed down all the curl commands that is required for either get, post calls, um, create something news, and all the different endpoints and use case scenarios. So here it is. Let's do Keploy record Docker Compose up with the container name. So we can see it's working. It's on a beta 19. My application got started. Yep, connected to MongoDB. So let's do one thing. Let's do our source thing. Source curl.sh. That's my file name with the curl commands. And here it is. Student registration successful. I got the IDs, name, John, and all the stuff. And here I have my test cases recorded back to back. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 test cases, right? So let's try to run it again with the test mode and see on how it works with Arcade. For now, we haven't experienced anything different. Same thing happened. My connection got stopped. It's listening on port 8000. It's connected to MongoDB. And this is my first test run that's happening. Yeah. So both passed successfully 7. There were no failures. And within the 10 to 11 seconds, all of my test case ran. I got my final result, and that's it. So within a minute and two, you can get started with Keploy if you already have an arcade installed on your machine. There are a lot of new features as well that you can build upon or use upon after the test. So I'll invite Pranshu to showcase on how to use those features. Over to you, Pranshu.
Yep. So, hi guys. This month we also launched a new feature called Templatize. So, to show what that does, I have a sample app here. So, first of all, let's understand what problems we are facing. So, um, the basic problem was that we all have noisy fields that are sometimes used in requests of some test cases. So, like the most common example is a JWT token. So, if you sign in, you always receive a JWT token, and then if you need to perform any authorized task in that website, you need to always pass the JWT token with your request. So the problem that we're facing is that JWT tokens obviously expire, and they are new JW tokens are always issued when you sign in again. So the problem that we were facing is that if someone has recorded the test cases, and if they test it after those JWT tokens have been expired, they will basically all the test cases will fail because they have expired. So to fix that problem, we came up with this solution called Templatize. So what Templatize does is, I'll show that using this basic sample application. So this application basically just issues a JWT token on a request, and it verifies it when you pass it in the next request. So, and I have some test cases already recorded here. So as you can see, it has issued tokens, and in the next test case, I have used those tokens to authorize myself. So if
Ranshu,
I
I
just,
Sure, I think your screen is not shared.
yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
yep, I hope
yeah,
you
it's
can see
visible.
that
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
So basically, these are the test cases. So the token has been issued in the body, and we use that token in the next request to authorize ourselves. So let's make a copy of this these test cases. So now, if we try to run these test cases without templatization, then basically all of them are going to fail because these test cases were created long back and all of the tokens have been expired. So as you can see, all the test cases have failed. So let's see what templatize does. So if I write Keploy templatize, so it basically does two things. If you see the test cases, it has added templates to all the common fields in the test cases. So we basically go through all the test cases and we find the common things between them, like the headers or the request and the response, and we add templates to them. So here also, since the token that was issued here was being used here, we added templates to both of them, right? And we also create a config file where we store the value of these templates that can be used by Keploy when these test cases are being executed. So now what happens is that whenever the value of any of the template values changes, then it basically updates that value in memory and uses that for any subsequent request. So if I test this again, so as you can see, um, three test cases passed because since a new token was issued here, it updated its template values in the memory, and it basically used this token instead of the old one, and that's why the test 2 passed. And also, like in this test 3, it used this new token value instead of the old one, and that's why test 4 passed, and the same is the case for test 5 and 6. So this is basically the use of templatize. So please go ahead and use this feature. You can follow our documentation, or you can also reference this video for the same. And you can also tell us what your feedback is, and also request improvements in this. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
So next we have Sarthak, showing one of the, I think we can call it the hero project of Kepler. So over to you, Sarthak.
Yeah, thanks, Animesh. So, thanks all of you for your time. So, we know like Keploy is an open source tool which helps you to generate tests as well as stubs. So, there are modes like record, replay. Through record, you can capture the test cases, and during the replay, you can replay that exact same traffic. So, uh, so Keploy is becoming a de facto for integration tests. Developers are trying record and replay with with through which they are able to generate tests without writing any code. So we decided to launch a unit test generation tool as well, which will give you 100% accurate results, just like our integration tests. I will tell you later why I'm saying this. So yeah, let's move on to the demo. Let me share my screen. So basically, all you need to do is to get this tool is go to VS Code Marketplace. Yeah, it's a VS Code extension. So you go to VS Code Marketplace. I have already installed it. Enable this tool. As soon as you will enable this tool, you will see the home page. This is prompting us to open any source file and click on the generate unit test command. I will open a source file for which I want to generate tests, and that's it. That all you need to do is just click a button. So Keploy has already started generating tests. The current coverage is 34%. Let's make it to 80%. So I will show, like I will tell the story behind this magic. So fasten your seat belts. So yeah, basically Keploy discards the test generation, like unit test generation, at three levels. Like first of all, if any of the tests is created, it is checked if it is built right or not. Then it is checked that if it is passing the cases, and at last it also checks if it is improving any coverage or not. So if any of these gets failed, Keploy discards that unit test, and again it tries to create other scenarios, other tests. So during this, it maintains the robust nature of the tests, and like they are more reliable. Unlike tools, like Copilot sometimes hallucinate and create some tests which are not even working. So let's move to the terminal. So it has started increasing the coverage. Current coverage is 49%. So we will wait for a second, and it will, I guess, increase it to 75%. So it iterates through the tests, and it runs it 5 times to get the desired results. Uh, So Keploy test generation is available for languages like Java, Go, Python, and we are launching this week. So you all you need to do is you can go to Keploy website and avail, like you can sign up for the join list and avail the early access. Yeah, you can see 58% has been the current coverage has been increased to 58%, and slowly it is getting closer to our desired state. So we'll wait for a while, and we will get the coverage around 75%. This all magic has been doing by the Keploy, and all we just need to do is click on the generate unit test command. So instead of writing tests manually, developers can just use this extension, and they can get their tests which are robust, as well as increasing the coverage of the code base. So I guess you have got the idea. It is iterating again and again to check the scenarios. You can, yeah, as I had told you, you can go to Keploy website, and to get the early access, you can join the waitlist. Thank you, guys. Over to you, Animesh.
Thanks, Arthur. Thanks for showcasing what's new. And I personally have a lot of faith on the unit test generation, because that's one of the biggest pain points that every developers face. Right? We have to write unit test cases mostly for our either our for personal projects, for our side projects, or for the company work that we do. That's why, and no one likes it. If anyone, if most of you agree with me, you can please you can share +1 in the chat. But yeah, so for that's it for our community call. If you have any questions, please feel free to ping them on the chat. Okay, I think we have one. For I think it's for you, Pranshu. Is there
Hmm.
any limits on how many field we can templatize?
Yep. I think we have two questions, and the second question is it only for token based? So the
Yeah.
answer to both questions is no. Basically, we compare all the fields in the test cases, and we find out what fields are common, and we templatize them. So like there's no particularly like you can only templatize two or three fields. All the fields that are there in the test cases are being compared, and templates are being put accordingly. And also it's not only for token based, it's also for different use cases. Like if you receive some name or special ID in your response, and you use that ID to make a post request in the next test case, that is also going to be templatized. So that's the answer to the questions.
Nice. Hi, Ashwin. I think we have a lot of folks who agree with that unit test case. Writing unit test case is a very big pain point for them. Um, I think that's for one is for you, Sarthak. In extension, is it only unit test case generation?
No, we also have unit test integration test extension as well. It is embedded in this extension only. In the home page, you can select the option of integration test, and you can use record and replay functionality for that.
So I think that's it. I'll just drop in a couple of links for folks to get started with either it's a templatization or where you can easily find. So let me post it on the chat. Templatize docs. Yes, I think it's up and there. I'll just put it on the banner. Yeah. So this is a guide on how you can use or get started templatize directly, and what are the steps if you need anything else on how you can use those. And the second is VS Code extension marketplace. So I'm really excited to know feedback on the VS Code extension, because most one of the popular IDE that I believe that developers use is either JetBrains if they are Java developers, or VS Code, or irrespective of whatever frameworks we use, right? So that's why I'm really excited to know on how do you feel, what are the frameworks that you work around, and how's your experience. So both the links I have put in the comments and have pinned them. So do let us know on how it works. Feel free to join our uh, Slack and give us your support on GitHub stars. We are about to reach 4.1, so it would mean us a lot if you can get star mark us on our GitHub. So I think that's it for this community call version, and hope to see you again soon.
Yep. Bye, folks.
Bye
Bye,
everyone.
folks. Have a nice day.
Thank you.